Good evening, dear televiewers. You have just tuned on to the 7 p.m. edition of the news on DBS television. Let's begin with our headlines. Cameroon road users should no longer be victims of unlawful and unethical road control. This is the demand of the Minister of Transport, who has condemned this unlawful attitude by some road control agents in Cameroon. And Cameroon shipyard in Douala is again experiencing the anger of its workers and employees, this after they launched a strike action yesterday Monday, demanding that certain conditions be met for them to resume work. These are the major stories we have for you in tonight's newscast. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go away because details will be yours in a few seconds. Welcome back, dear televiewers, and thank you for joining us for the 7 p.m. edition of the newscast, which is in the English language on DBS television. I am Cynthia Ngwemo. Like we told you in the beginning of this news, Cameroon's Minister of Transport, Ernest Ngale Bibehe, has decried the unlawful and aggressive attitude with which some road control agents address or interfere with road users in Cameroon. He aims at preventing Cameroon road users from facing this kind of unlawful attitude again and to never be victims of such harassment. Details of this story with Mange Venasius.
Due to an unlawful control, Cameroonian road users have been subjected to for some time now. Cameroon's Minister of Transport, Ernest Ngale Bibehe, has given out ways through which such outlaw and purported control teams could be identified. Through his ministerial Facebook page, the minister enjoined road users to politely ask for mission orders authorizing road control prevention teams to carry out their exercise. This order indicates the duration of the exercise. The minister indicated that road prevention control agents from the Ministry of Transport do not operate at night and during weekends. They are seen with polos or yellow light reflector jackets. They do not use any equipment like the harrow to stop moving cars. In a situation where one of these conditions are not fulfilled, the minister informs Cameroonians that they have the right to object or refuse the control. This falls in line with a similar circular letter dated March 20th, 2020, in which the minister decried the anarchical manner in which route prevention control teams are deployed along highways across the country, teams which outrightly operate against prescribed norms in force. This is a reminder that Cameroonians shouldn't be victims of ignorance any longer.
Workers at the Douala shipyard, otherwise known as Chantier Naval et Industriel de Douala or du Cameroon, have again continued a strike action which they launched yesterday, March 15, a strike intended to run until their problems are solved. They are demanding the payment of their salaries, which they haven't received since January, added to what they call the 13th month. They also decry the continuous employment of old people rather than the young, amongst other grievances. The striking workers say they had informed the administration about the strike long ago but received no response, so they went into action. On this day, the company was void of employees as they deserted their workplace after still getting no response from company hierarchy when they launched the strike yesterday. Let's now listen to one of the employees of Chantier Naval who details their demands and grievances. Let's listen.
You see, we are working here in Chantier Naval. From 15 years, we don't have medals. The medal that we used to see other company with the place we have. So we have sent our diplomas. They have come already. We have the diplomas already, but the medals and the money that we used to give workers have not given it. So we have the diploma because they come through labor office. And what even started this strike because they are owing us 3 months salary. not 13 months, 3 months salary. That is why we even generate everything. So from the salary now that we have, you cannot come to work with that salary for 3 months. So now we are asking our 13 months. Our 13 months, that is conventionally. We always usually take it in December. So now we are asking for it. Then you see this company. We have sent more than 500 workers offsite. This company. But when you send 500 workers offsite, will you be working with retirement workers in the company? So we are asking for the retirement people to step down and go out and leave our company. So company have put more than 500 people offsite. But here in this company, we are still working with retirement people. Those who have already taken their retirement money, they are still working with us. So we are asking them to go and leave our company. And they have to resolve the problem of insurance. So we in fall sick, at least we used to go to hospital. But now for almost 10 years, we don't have that insurance. We manage with that very salary that they don't pay us regularly to treat ourselves.
Some of the employees of this company believe that some of the challenges they are facing and which they have been facing for many years now comes from a problem of poor management, a problem which they demand that government intervention needs to be taken into consideration to solve. Let's listen to one of them.
We need to go on vacation. Our vacation has not been paid. Nothing has been paid. Every day they're writing big French. They're putting it on the wall over there. All we are asking is that our parents, you guys need to be fair with your children. We do not understand that even the head of government has not come to see us. But yeah, he says he's the one control everything. We have a beautiful company, but we have a serious problem of management. The management is rotten. We don't have good management. That is why we are fucked up. You see, it is the truth. In my view, in my opinion, it's just me. I do believe that the government needs to look at this place very carefully and put the right people at the right place, because one of the problems in this company is that you have people who are not in the right place. Because one, we have somebody who has no business being here, but they say his name is Dorier. He has no business being here. Secondly, he has been committed crimes. He has put Cameroonians in prison and nothing has been done to him. What we are asking, one, is that he must be removed. Two, all his property must be seized. Three, he must be put in prison because he has stolen the Cameroonian people.
While workers of Chantier Naval du Cameroon are continuing with their strike, those of the Nastigal Dam construction site are have instead called off their 6-week-long strike after they resumed work yesterday. This comes after a tripartite meeting between the government and the workers. The Minister of Work and Vocational Training and that of Water and Energy went down to the dam construction site last week to ease the tension that had been ongoing since February. The workers were disgruntled with the non-payment of their allowances as promised, added to racist treatment from the hierarchy. They had sought solutions from the center regional authorities also, but to no avail, so they launched the strike that halted work. Following government intervention, the 1,350 employees resumed work this Monday, March 15, after some concessions were granted them by the administrators of the construction site. Recall that the Nastigal Dam has an estimated potential of 420 megawatts, capable of providing Cameroon with 30% of its electricity needed. The works that began in 2019 are expected to end by 2023. On to a different news story. Lawmakers in the Cameroon National Assembly have revisited the history and the evolution of female parliamentary leadership from the very first to the 7th legislature. This was during a picture exhibition that was guided by the Secretary General at the National Assembly, Gaston Gomba. Details of the story with Ate Bonaventure.
Female leadership has been on Cameroon's political agenda since the beginning of the first post-independence legislature, with Julienne Kecha being the first woman to be voted in parliament in 1960. This guided tour at the National Museum, led by the Secretary General of the National Assembly, gives a clue on the historicity of female leadership in Cameroon.
I think it is a very good initiative in accordance with what I saw. What we visited is an exposition, an exhibition done in a very artistic manner. And we simply notice that this evolution is well exposed.
The photo exhibition that has brought together members of the parliamentary network seeks to showcase the strides made by women in parliament that has positively affected national life.
Even without reading the pages, the scriptures, but only by visiting, this evolution would not have been so marked and so positive.
The women left the National Assembly with the conviction that President Paul Biya's wish to ensure that the female folk is well represented in all decision-making spheres has been made manifest.
Still in Yaoundé, the Ministry of Livestock, Fisheries and Animal Industry, alongside that of Agriculture and Rural Development, have held the 18th session of an evaluation meeting of the support program for the renovation and development of vocational training in agriculture, livestock and fishery sectors. Chaired by the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Gabriel Mbairobe, the meeting held today in Yaoundé sought to establish the progress made this far in the sector of agriculture and related domains in Cameroon. Here is an excerpt of the Minister as he outlines the establishments or accomplishments and ways forward. He spoke to our Yaoundé-based correspondents.
Cameroon has just revised its policy paper, especially the National Development Strategy 2020-2030, NDS 13, including a combination of import substitution and export promotion, and the Rural Sector Development Strategy, combined with the National Agriculture Investment Plan, structured around 4 points, namely, sustainable increase in the production of the plant, forest, animal, and fishery subsectors, improvement of rural infrastructure, and access to factors of production and markets, reinforcing the resilience of production system, the sustainable management of natural resources, and the food and nutrition security of vulnerable population in the face of climate change and other shocks, improvement of governance and human capital in the sector. I therefore urge you to take into account these strategic guidance when examining the files submitted for your consideration.
Internationally renowned Cameroonian writer Jaili Amadou Amal has carried out her first mission as UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador, a mission that had her visit the far north region of Cameroon, where she originates from. Being classified as a priority education zone, the UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador used her visit to emphasize the need for the respect and promotion of children's rights and education in the far north region. She chose Government Primary School Manawachi in the Mayo Sava division to host the delegation, a school which throughout the past years has benefited largely from UNICEF support alongside the Ministry of Basic Education. Here is Jacques Boyer, a UNICEF representative living in Cameroon. He highlights in the following excerpt the symbolic nature Jaili Amadou Amal's visit represents in the selected school and effort made by both parties involved to ameliorate child education. Let's listen.
There were mainly two reasons for choosing Manarachi as a visit. As you can see, I'm here with our National Goodwill Ambassador, Mrs. Jaili Amadou Amal. And Jaili is a native from the Far North region. She was born in Maroua. As you know, she is a very well-known writer, internationally known, who has got a lot of awards as a writer. She is also an activist to defending the cause of young girls and women.
Now in news out of Cameroon, Uganda's opposition leader Bobi Wine was arrested yesterday during protests against the current government, which took place yesterday in the capital Kampala. And in northwestern Nigeria, particularly in Kaduna State, 3 teachers of primary schools and some children of the school were abducted in attacks carried out by some gunmen. Details of these stories in the Africa Roundup page with our intern Rogea Tububa.
39-year-old Ugandan opposition figure Bobi Wine was briefly detained on Monday as he took part in a protest in the capital Kampala against the detention of his supporters. He called on Ugandans last week to rise up peacefully and unarmed against President Yoweri Museveni, who won a 6th term in office with 58% of votes following disputed elections in January. Police arrested Wine near a public square in the capital and then drove him back to his home outside Kampala. About 15 members of parliament and activists from Wine's political party took part in the brief protest, which was quickly halted by police officers and soldiers. He was arrested several times while campaigning. Authorities said he violated COVID-19 related restrictions on public gatherings. In northwestern Nigeria, at least 3 teachers have been kidnapped in an attack on a primary school in Kaduna State. Early reports also say an unknown number of children have also been abducted. Authorities in Kaduna are in the process of collecting details on the number of students and teachers abducted. The new attack comes a day after Nigerian security forces opposed an attempt to kidnap hundreds of school children in the same state. Several states in northern and central Nigeria have closed their schools for security reasons.
That was the Africa Roundup page containing news out of Cameroon and particularly in the African continent. And that, of course, brought an end to today's edition of the news on DBS television. Thank you for watching. I am Cynthia Ngwemo, inviting you to join us again tomorrow, same time. For now, good night.